This is you, Moira. So our plan was to sit in the middle of this area and tempt the brand new little foal, who's about 6 weeks old now, to be handled. He hasn't been handled before because for the first month of his life, his mother was quite aggressive to anyone that went near him. So you can see that his older brother, the pony on the right, is taking over just a little bit. He's obviously very itchy on his hind legs and his rear end and would prefer to be scratched there. Now you might think, oh, he's come to kick Moira, but he hasn't. He's just really itchy. And to the point where he can't concentrate on anything else, I think. So his mum and his brother have wandered off, so he's wandered off too. And this is where we learn not to work with animals. Try and take videos with animals.
Yeah.
And here he is coming back. He's called Maverick, by the way. And suddenly he's very wary, having shown his backside previously. But it doesn't take him long to start to think that he could get a bum scratch.
I guess he wanted to actually investigate this new scratch post.
Yeah. His temperament, actually, his dad is absolutely scared of nothing, but his mum is quite wary. So he has a bit of a combination of the two temperaments. There are things that worry him, but he's pretty okay with pushing the odd human around, getting them to do what he wants and moving their feet. So I think it was not long after this that we decided it was safer to get a halter on him or getting confident to have a halter on him so that we could keep his head towards us and his rear end a bit further away. So he's treating Moira like a horse there. He went to bite her because he thought she might like a scratch in return.
Yeah.
And he was probably saying he wanted it a bit firmer because he was saying, ramp it up a bit.
Yeah.
So these guys have electric fencing and there's nothing directly that they can rub against. So, some horses would be very scared of the jumper coming off, but he's not. So that shows he's got quite a relaxed left brain temperament. And he's certainly not very introverted, is he? He's quite keen to come and have a look. Whereas his younger brother seems very introverted at the moment. He's standing with Mummy and he's not interested. Here's me. So I've brought a halter. So my plan is to put a halter on Maverick so that I can keep his head towards me and his backside further away. So that'll keep us safer when we're handling. But you can see we're really learning what not to do here. He's getting quite good at pushing me around and potentially kicking me. And I'm not controlling his feet, he's controlling my feet. So he's acting like the leader and I'm being led. So I want to get myself in the position of being the leader. So we're going to do a retake of this video sometime soon, which shows us humans getting the upper hand, and we're not going to be forceful or aggressive or in any way violent. We're just going to show him that the humans can be in charge, and that'll keep us safer. You can see he's really happy to push against me. There's no respect. He's really getting what he wants. It's always worthwhile getting to know the person taking the video.
Came up for a quick investigation.
Mm-hmm. So he hasn't been handled for a few months, and he's a year old.
Was he handled a lot as a foal?
Not enough,
Mm.
no. But I do have a video of him having his first handling, and the first time he put his halter on. He had his halter on.
Mm.
So what I'm trying to do here is to do some overload on the scratching so he doesn't think of that as his primary concern for a little while, so that I can get his halter on. As you can see, he's not keen to have the halter on. So I'm going to use approach and retreat. The idea being that prey animals, when they're worried about something in their environment, they don't approach it step by step like a predator stalking or a hunter stalking. They go forward and back, approaching and retreating, zigzagging around, so that they get a good view with both their eyes from each side. So although we could be more, we could give him more pressure to move away and respect us, I actually want him to gain confidence as well. So it's a difficult balance between keeping him confident and keeping him respecting me. So on this particular day, I chose to keep him confident. But once I know he's confident enough, I shall work on how to keep him respecting me. Now, I'm not very pleased about being behind him. He's kicked out twice. In actual fact, fairly short sessions of 5 to 10 minutes regularly really help with this taming process. So what I really want is for him to not come too close to me, but for me to walk into his space. And when you see me walk away, I'll be inviting him to come towards me, but not too close. And then the scratching is the reward for coming. Itchy ponies are far more easily tamed. So here I am rubbing him with the halter, getting him used to the feel of it and the movement of it, and seeing it in the corner of his eye, because he wasn't too keen on the rope flapping around. So first of all, I'll bunch it up in my hand so there's no bits of it moving around, and then I'll gradually let go of it a little bit so that he can see it moving around. You can see he's still pushing against me. But at this moment in time, I want him to feel confident for me to put it on. Oh, here we come. So the shoulder is quite a safe place to be. They don't move the shoulder as much as their head or their hindquarters. So this thing about him leaving me, some would say that he's showing he's the boss by leaving me. And yes, in an ideal world, I would be leaving him. But he's a year old, he's inquisitive, he's got a low attention span. He's rather enjoying the grass on this bit. So here you can see that the halter's far more unravelled. It's kind of moving around on the other side as well, just to get him used to the idea of a rope around him. Some with his level of handling would be gone. If they had a different temperament to him. So the fact that he's itchy is working for me now, because I'm using the rope to give him a good scratch and get it over his nose. So horses don't need practice wearing a halter, they need practice having it put on and taken off. They need the practice of the movement around them. I never leave halters on youngsters or any horse. So he's going to go away and think about how he feels about having a halter on, which actually works out in my favour. Because then I can have the attention of his little brother. His little brother's called Nectar. And it's not long before Big Brother starts to try to take over again. So at this point I attach the rope, but I just thread it through. I don't actually attach the clip, because if he does pull away, it will just come loose. And he won't spend all day dragging a rope around because he's too terrified to stop. So what I'm doing now, I'm asking him to turn his head towards me, and the moment he does, I give the pressure. So he starts to learn that that's what I wanted. It's quite an easy process once you get the hang of it. Rather than trying to move his feet, I just, at the beginning, turn his head a little bit.
I'd say, though he is very happy to push people around, he also seems very receptive to, requests. In this basic training, at least.
Yeah, at this age I really want him to know how to follow a pressure, follow a lead. And he will learn quickly if the pressure's released as soon as he gives. So the important thing for me is to make sure he understands what I'm asking. And that he goes away from this session feeling that he understood everything and he wasn't confused, and I didn't make him feel bad about himself. And there he just moved one leg, so that's enough. I'm grateful for that. So he's getting used to the feel of the pressure of the halter on his head, and he's also learning that when he gives, the pressure stops. When he follows the pressure, it stops. So now he's testing it out both sides. That's often the thing with horses, you have to do everything both sides. They learn each side separately. And I'm trying to keep my feet as still as possible so he understands that he can't move me around anymore. And the idea is that when he moves his feet like that, the pressure on the rope releases. And he gets a rub. It was our session mainly with Maverick, which we weren't expecting. We were expecting to do one with Nectar, but so that'll have to come at a later date. I think once we got the halter on, it went fairly well. We were able to show him that he needed to follow the leader a little bit via the pressure from the halter. He stopped moving me around so much, and I was able to start to move him around, which is what we need him to be able to do to be a future ridden pony. Certainly we're going to start to teach him that when he hasn't got the halter on, that we are actually in control and he's not going to move his feet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's goodbye from us for now.
Yeah, and hopefully hello again soon.